Good evening, afternoon, and welcome in. Happy Sunday. It is November 2nd. I'm Jarrod Wright, host of The Right Wing, and I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're watching. I'm fired up for this episode because I wasn't even planning on doing one today. I had no intentions of doing one today. And I'm sitting there and I'm scrolling through social media yesterday really, and I see what's being pushed. I see the collective agenda being pushed on us. Not from the left either, from the right, against people like me, people like you, people like Tucker, people like Nick, fighting for America. I see what's happening. And I got pissed off, to be honest with you. I think I announced my episode, like 10:30 last night? I got pissed off. And I said, I'm not going to sit back. I wasn't planning on doing a show till Tuesday. And I said, I can't sit back and watch this. So I stayed up, got some points down on some of these people, some of these conservatives that supposedly are on our side, that supposedly love us, that supposedly we're supposed to be working with. And I want to expose it. I want to expose it because there's so many people that don't understand how evil these people are and how they just take and twist and make things work for their own manner, to put money into their own pocket, to benefit the people who are then putting money in their own pocket. And what happens is when people speak out, when people like I speak out, when people like Tucker speaks out, when someone like Nick, who's been speaking out for 10 years, whenever they go online and whenever we go online and we say these things, we get blasted. We get crucified. We should be banned. We should be canceled. We shouldn't even have a platform. No way we should even be able to speak to people. And again, this is from the right. This is from who we thought was our allies. This is from who we probably all supported at a minimum 10 years ago, probably 5, maybe even 2 years ago. We supported, we pushed, and now they hate us. The people that are in this MAGA crowd, Make America Great Again. Let me tell you something. I stood with the movement when it started. In 2015, in 2016, I was all about the movement. I'm still behind the sentiment, behind what it stands for. I stand with that. But the issue is the movement and the ideologies with MAGA are completely different than what they should be. And they're not at all what would make America great again. It's their own cult where they throw us under. Say, screw you. How dare you want America first, America only? How dare you want that? We don't stand with them. Not anymore. Not whenever they're throwing us to the dogs, saying, screw you. Because that's what they're doing. That's what they did to Tucker and Nick this past week. And man, it's just been bashing after bashing. These $7,000 a post influencers, man, they've been having a field day this weekend. They've been eating it up. They've been loving it. Brandon Tatum, Officer Talmud, man, he's loving it. And then I find out today, I didn't even realize it last night, the Republican Jewish coalition is happening right now. One of the stupidest campaigns I've ever seen, one of the stupidest groups of people I've ever seen. Jewish Republicans pushing for AIPAC, pushing for Israel, and saying that we're the bad guys. Can't do it. I can't stand with that. Now, people like Brandon Tatum can. You know, Officer Talbot, you may know him as Officer Tatum. People like him can. They can love it. They can eat it up. But people like me, no. I'm not standing with that crap. I mean, it's loads of crap being thrown on our plate. Who are these people? Who are our mainstream Republicans? Tatum's one of them, and he's paid and bought for. I mean, that guy, he's a freaking idiot. Go look at his Twitter account, his X account. Just read his post. He's stupid, honestly. IQ of nothing. Who are some of the other ones? We're going to talk about Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, if you can even call him that, Erica Kirk. We're going to speak on Charlie a little bit because Charlie's was doing some interesting things, as many of you know. All of these people were putting Israel first, not America. Lord, no, not America. We send all of our money to Israel. Their soldiers, their citizens get more benefits than our people do. Our tax dollars Goes so that the mothers over there don't have to work. And that's okay. Yeah, that's totally fine. Why would anybody have a problem with that? We're living in a dystopian society that we cannot even get. I mean, we have no say. They're trying to push us out. That's what's happening. We're trying to get canceled for saying this. And if you even question it, whoa, 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 don't you dare talk about Israel. Shame on you. You anti-Semite. You hate all Jewish people. No, I don't hate all Jewish people. But I hate to break it to you, 95% of Jewish people are Zionists and love Israel and love everything they're doing. And they think they're justified in the murders of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people over the last 75 years, all in Gaza, all in Palestine, the West Bank. 95% of Jewish people support that. Does that make me an anti-Semite? Because if so, I'm a proud anti-Semite. Bring it on. Talk to me. Try to cancel me too. It's pissed me off this weekend. We can't even speak freely. It's supposed to be a nation of free speech. Can't speak freely when it's against the Jews, of course. When it's against Israel, God forbid you ever do that. And trust me, I was blinded. I was blinded for most of my life. And then you start looking at the facts, which is what I try to present to you, and you say, well, how is this okay? Anybody with an IQ above 70 should be able to look at the facts and say, these people do all of these things, and yet we still give them more money than anybody? We still support them more than anybody? Why are they the only people that we can't really talk about? You go on X right now and you put all whites should be deported on one post and put all blacks should be deported on another post, all the way down all the races. You won't have nothing happen. You put all Jewish people should be deported, boom, instant flag right there in that post. I've seen it multiple times. Why can't we talk about them? Does free speech only go up to that point? And that's where the line is? We can't talk about them? What's the deal with that? And how come half of the Republican Party, half of the right wing is in on it so hard? They love it. Meanwhile, the ideals that left-wing Jewish Zionists push are those that the right wing hates. But they're okay with right-wing Jewish Zionists who want support for Israel. Do you not realize that these people are working behind the scenes together? Left-wing and right-wing, all of these Jewish Zionists, all of these Israelis work together. One side ships in foreigners to our country to completely change the culture of it, and the right hates it. One side says we need to give more money to Israel, and the left hates it. And they're just working together behind the scenes, handing money out wherever. You know, there's only one truly bipartisan topic, and that's, for some reason, accepting money from Israel. They love that. They're okay if you're giving them money. I'll be quiet about that. I won't speak about it. I cannot stand with that. Once your eyes wake up and you see the absolute corruption of the Republican Party right now, you won't go back. Our president right now, Trump, are we going to act like he's not a completely different person than he was a decade ago when he ran for his first term? Are we not going to talk about that? He's not our hero. I was proud to support Trump in 2016. I was proud in 2020. I am disappointed now in 2025 that I supported him. 2015, Trump would have a cow if he saw 2025 Trump, but he's bought out. He's bought out. In 2015, 2016, 70% of the money that was donated to his campaign came from people like me and you. Small dollar donations. Now, in this past election, complete flip-flop. 70% came from big donors, came from the establishment. Who was even against him this past election? In 2016, the establishment hated him. Even all of the news people, everybody hated him. And he came above that. He rose above it. 2025 Trump, 2024 Trump, everybody loved him. That's who everybody wanted. Are we surprised? Obviously, you still have nuts on the left who didn't want that. That's a whole nother topic. We're talking about the right. So what happened in 10 years, Trump? Where did you go? Why did your priorities change? From make America great again to make Israel great again. That's all it's been. Netanyahu's visited more than anybody. Netanyahu's been at the White House more than anybody. He loves going there. He's probably got a bedroom made out right next to Trump's. It might be in the same bed. I don't know. And he's been bought out. He's approved $14 billion to Israel for military aid just in this term, just since January. $14 billion. To give you a little bit of retrospect, to give you a little bit of understanding of how much money that is, the wall that he pushed in 2016, this massive border wall, which I still support, cost $8 billion. He's given out nearly double to Israel than the wall cost, which everybody raised hell about. Oh, it's expensive. Taxpayers shouldn't go to that. So it should go to killing little kids, blowing their heads off? It should go to drones to go bomb people? It should go to advanced missile systems to bomb people, to get rid of their houses? That's okay? And nobody's raising a red flag at that because you've been conditioned to. You've been conditioned to love Israel. And they tell you if you're a Christian, you have to. That is dead wrong. If you're a Christian, you should see what's happening and wake up. You shouldn't support Israel. He's taken like $230 billion. How much was it? $230 million. Not billion. $1 million. Miriam Adelson, the Republican Jewish coalition who's meeting right now, shelling out money to them. These are those big dollar donors. And do you think that money comes with no stipulation? Do you think that the money just gets handed to them and say, hey, we trust you. No stipulations. No. Money doesn't change hands like that. This isn't me buying a buddy a $5 meal from Cookout. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. And you think it has no stipulation? The stipulation is he has to give support to Israel. He has to do what they want. He answers to people. And it's rich Jewish donors. That's who he answers to. Charlie Kirk talked about that. Why do you think they killed him? Rich Jewish donors who play behind the scenes. You think all of the wars just happen? You think they just, whoops, there it is. No. Jewish, money-hungry, money-loving donors are behind the scenes and they're profiting. All the wars in history, they're profiting. All of the military defense people, they're profiting off of this. Why do you think they keep pushing wars? Why do you think they wanted us in war in the Middle East in the 2000s? Because they made money and it served their benefit in Israel. We shut down Iraq, shut down Iran, shut down Afghanistan. If we can get regime change there, they're no longer a threat to them because we put who we want in those spots, really who they want in those spots to shut them up. Because they know who the problem is. They know what Israel's doing to their own people. They see the bombings, they see the genocide, and they didn't like it. So Israel said, we need to shut them up. We need to stop it. Trump is right there on that same train right now. He's pushing the same thing. And we're going to talk I was always for Trump, but his connections were pretty sketchy, were they not? I think he's on the Epstein list. And I'll give Trump this. I don't think he slept with the child. I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. But at a minimum, he was indirectly funding Epstein. Maybe without realizing it, and he freaked out, but he's on that list. He found out in May he was on the list, is what reports say, and that's why he pushed this whole thing to not release the Epstein files. If you haven't made that connection, if you haven't made the Epstein to Israel connection, you're a little bit behind. Epstein worked very closely with Mossad. This was all a blackmail scheme. Let's get all this blackmail, all this dirt on everybody, and then we control them. They don't want videos of them sleeping with children released. So we tell them what to do, and they do it. Therefore, they control American politics. Not only by blackmail, but also by money coming in through AIPAC and other Israel-type things, like the Jewish Republican Coalition, handing out money left and right, throwing it at people. And all the Republicans are accepting it. They love it. $7,000 a post. That's actually true. It's been shown that they'll give $7,000 a post. Trump's right there in the middle of it. He still hasn't released the Epstein files, which is a major issue. We need to know who the child molesters are. They should be locked up. I don't care who it is. I don't care if every single member of Congress was in there. You know what? Scrap it and start over. There's no room for child molesters, and he is protecting them. He's protecting himself and in turn protecting them also. We need those files released. We haven't forgot about them. You really think Charlie Kirk's assassination didn't have anything to do with that? Whenever those files get the releasing of them gets shot down the same day, there was stuff to do with that. Charlie was calling for that. Charlie was coming out against Israel, whether you like it or not. You can talk about it all you want. Yes, he was coming out against Israel. What about Trump? He says, promises made, promises kept. He's going to bring us all these things. Oh, yeah? Well, why is Russia still at war with Ukraine? By the way, the Ukrainians are a bunch of Jewish people. Everybody in Israel came from Ukraine and Poland, from Eastern Europe. So why do you think Trump's backing Ukraine so hard, giving them money, giving them weapons, giving them support, hating on Russia? Why are we in the war to begin with? We don't care about what happens there. Yeah, personally, I stand with Russia in that war, but I don't care. I don't want my dollar going to it. I don't want my soldiers' lives going to it. I don't want us to have anything to do with it. Why? Neither side is fully in the right. They're both bombing citizens. They're both doing dumb stuff. Let them do it. Ukraine's been a part of Russia for most of its existence. I don't really care. And Putin doesn't even want all of Ukraine. He wants one little strip down to Crimea. That's all he wants, really. Who cares? Why are we involved? It's because the people in Ukraine are Jewish. All of the Jewish Israeli ancestors are from Ukraine. They want their homeland taken care of. That's not a big hidden fact. It's the truth. Zelensky, you think he's not profiting off of this? They hate Zelensky. But while they're in war, he will not be taken out of his seat as president or whatever they call him there. I think it's president. So he's going to push this war on. He says, we're not giving up any land. That guy's an idiot. He's sacrificing all of his men and children, and Trump supports it. What happened ending that war? First day, huh? What happened to true peace in Palestine? Yeah, we got a ceasefire that Israel broke like at least 47 confirmed times, killing people left and right after the ceasefire. What happened to that, Trump? I thought we were getting true peace there in the Middle East. What does true peace look like? Does true peace look like us bombing Iran? Pissing them off? Is that true peace? Is that no new wars? We're on the verge of them getting really mad at us and coming back, along with a whole coalition of people. Is that no new wars? Is that Middle Eastern peace? Is that a promise made, promise kept, Trump? What about the war we're about to start in Venezuela? Or stupid stuff that we shouldn't be involved in. If you want a war on drugs, let's talk about Mexico and those drugs coming in. Yeah, I'm against drugs. I don't want them coming in. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about the cartels there. Randomness in Venezuela? It's stupid. And let's be honest here. As an American citizen, have you had any help, any whatsoever, since he came into office? Has gas really went down that much? No, maybe 20 cents a gallon, maybe. Have groceries gotten cheaper? No, they've gotten more expensive for me. Has meat gotten cheaper? No, the farmers are still having a hard time. Has my income went up? No. Has the economy gotten better? No. If anything, I'm in a worse position than I was a year ago. Whenever he said he's going to come in and fix everything. Where's the help? As an American citizen, as a proud American, where's the help? When's it going to get better, Trump? Or do you want to keep shelling our money out to Israel? Shelling it out to Argentina, to any Jew you can find. Honestly, give them money. That's what it seems like happens. And you call yourself America first. You call yourself Make America Great Again. Are we great right now? What about chat? Are we great? No, we're not great. We're a shell of a nation. We're a shell of what our founding fathers created. And they would be pissed if they came here. The average American citizen is a slave to the United States government, who is a slave to Israel. And we just go out. This is Trump. This is what we voted for, right? What about Palantir? What about Palantir? I'm going to get into that one with J.D. Vance. We give them access to all of our records, all of our major databases of information about us. They come in, and guess what they do? That's spyware, 100%. It is spyware. It's watching this right now, I'm sure. It don't like us. You heard Clyde the other week talk about Pegasus in Israel. If you step across those borders, Palantir and Pegasus have every little bit of information on your phone. What sites you visited, all your pictures, all your messages, all your Instagram browsing history. You think they don't know if you've been liking anti-Israel memes? They know. and you're targeted. And Palantir puts it onto a big list. It gives you a score about how dangerous you are. I'd like to believe that we're pretty high up on that list, the people watching this. And the Republicans, Trump, he supported that. He supported all of your information going to them, going to Israel, giving it full power here in the United States. That's what he supported. And that's America first. That's caring for the citizen. That's making our lives better. That's making America great again. That's what that is. Get me the hell off that train. I don't want on it. Trump's a shill. He's bought out. And it gives us this little piece of base talk every now and then. And people eat it up. Oh my God, he's so good for America. Did you hear what he said? Oh my gosh, he's so crazy. No, he's not. He's a shill. He gives us this little bone every now and then, and we just keep serving him. We keep giving him money for him to give to Israel, give to Jews, to give our information to everybody else. What about all these people involved with him? What about Ted Cruz? What about Marco Rubio? They're freaking neocons. You know what Ted Cruz said? He said he wanted to be a part of Congress so that he could serve the interests of Israel. What kind of freaking Congress is that? Go serve in Israel, Ted. Tel Aviv, Ted. Why are you serving in an American Congress, being elected in an American Congress, to put Israel's interests first and publicly saying it? That's treason, Ted. What kind of bullcrap are we running here? How much money is he taking? Over $1 million. $1.9 million from AIPAC. That's how much Ted's taking. And we think that he's going to stand with us? No. And what's even funnier is Ted's this Christian, right? And he tries to quote the Bible. He doesn't even know what he's quoting. Well, we're supposed to bless Israel. Tucker Carlson says, well, what verse is that, Ted? Do you know where that's at in the Bible? It's Genesis 12:3, by the way. And it never says Israel. It's God talking to Abraham, and he says, I will bless those who bless thee, and I will curse those who curse thee. Talking about the line of Abraham, which Christians are a part of. And Ted's too ignorant to understand that. Yet he calls himself a Christian, calls himself well-studied, calls himself a high IQ individual. Oh, $7,000 in his pocket, $1.9 million in his pocket. That's MAGA? That's the future of the movement? Have we looked at him? I mean, honestly, have we looked at Ted? Is that what we want America to look like? He's incredibly overweight. He doesn't make any sense when he talks. He just makes up crap. He has no actual theological high IQ responses. It's just random little points that people are feeding him with no backing on why we should support Israel. Putting the star everywhere. No, you're worshiping Satan, Ted. You're not a Christian. You worship Satan. Let me tell you, you worship it. He says it's in the Bible. He doesn't care about it. He major supporter of bombing of Iran. We're not talking about that. He loved that idea. Let's just go bomb a random base in Iran. That sounds like an awesome idea. He pushed Trump to do it. He was all about it. He's still talking about it and how proud he is that he was for it. You know who didn't like that idea? You know who was the one person who urged Trump not to bomb Iran? Charlie Kirk. Where's he at? Where did that get him? Does it make you start wondering, oh, wow, I wonder if some of these big name people might have been in on this assassination of Charlie Kirk? Because a lot of this revolves around Charlie, whether you realize it or not, because he's the perfect example of what happens when you change up the script, when you change up where you're headed, because he realized Charlie was incredibly pro-Israel. I didn't like Charlie for it. But in the last 2 to 3 months of his life, he was coming out against him, and he did not like them. Back to Palantir, do you really think that if he was looking at this stuff and researching it and texting about it and talking on the phone about it, do you not think that Palantir knew what he was looking up, knew what he was talking about? BB knew exactly what was being said, exactly what was being looked up. He didn't like it. He saw what would happen. If Charlie publicly came out and said, I don't support Israel, the whole world would have went up on edge. Hundreds of millions of people would have flipped on Israel. That it would have been over. Crusades 2.0 would have happened. BB would be hung up on a stick somewhere. It would be over. They couldn't let that happen. They said, no, we got to take care of this guy. Ben Shapiro was probably involved in that. Ben, I don't even have him on this list. Ben is so pro-Israel. He even said that he would waive the clause that an American president had to be born in America for Bibi Netanyahu to be the president. That's how much he loves Bibi. the war criminal, the genocider, the murderer, the Satan worshiper. And yet people love Ben Shapiro. Don't get me wrong. In 2016, I thought he was a cool guy. We were all watching PragerU. Even guys like Nick Fuentes say he was watching PragerU. He thought Ben Shapiro was cool. And then your eyes get open. You say, wait a second, Ben. What crap are you pulling? How much money have you accepted? Why are you pushing so hard for Israel? It's because he's a Jew. Because he's a Mossad agent Jew. That's why. And they have a special need to support that homeland. It's a transnational organized Jewry organization that all supports this one nation. That's why they're unique. That's why they're unique. Marco Rubio, another one, a neocon. He wants to get involved in everybody else's matters. Using our money, using our resources to go get involved with everybody else. We don't support that. He's accepted over $1 million himself from AIPAC. Lining his pockets, supporting Israel hard, and lying to us. We sit back. That's a cool guy, Marco Rubio. Wow, I love him. No, he's not. He's a bought-out shill like the rest of them, like the rest of the establishment Republican Party. And you fall for it when you vote for it. You fall for it. You go right into the trap. He wants Palestine eliminated. He said that. He's literally said that. He wants Palestine completely wiped out. What's up with that, huh? What's the deal? We say we want Israel gone, and we're considered Satanists. We're crucified. We're canceled. We can't have an Instagram. We can't have a Facebook, a YouTube, completely off the internet. You can't be here. He says all of the Palestinian people should be removed, should be completely eliminated and killed, and it's okay. It's celebrated. Does that not sound like brainwashing to you? Guess what? He was anti-Trump in 2016. So was Ted Cruz. They didn't like him. They didn't like 2016 Trump. So was J.D. Vance. They didn't like 2016 Trump because that Trump was much closer to our side right now. Now he's come around to their side, and he's putting them in all these positions of power. Now they're on board. Oh, now I'll get his backing. Now we're okay with Trump. They're not going to his side. He's coming to theirs. He left our side and went to theirs. That's what's happening, and it's splitting the right wing. And until we tell them, hell no, we're done with your crap, they're going to keep doing it. We're not getting anything done. Trump's deported, I think it's like 600,000 he's going to deport this year. You think that's getting anything done? 10 million or more in here has been let in the last 4 years, illegal immigrants from all nations. I'm not just speaking about Mexico, all nations. How many have come through H-1B visas, overstayed? I don't like the H-1B program. That's a problem in and of itself. We're going to get into that. 600,000 have been deported. You think that's making a dent in it? Hardly at all. I mean, he brags about it, but he's on pace to do less than Obama did. All he does is piss people off. All he does is piss people off when he does that. It's not actually getting anything done, and now everyone's mad at him. So what good does it do? At this point, I'd rather just, you know what, leave them all here. At least then maybe you'll get some other things done instead of having to fight this battle over here that you're not even really fighting. Be on one side or the other. He wants to stay in the middle is what Trump wants to do. Because he's moved back into this little middle-of-the-road right-wing bullcrap. That's not even what we want. You know what my politics are? Say Christ is king. Say it. Say Christ is king and that you will put Israel down, that you won't put them first, that you don't support them. Do those two things. Now let's talk. Okay, now we can talk about economic policy. Now we can talk about foreign policy. But say Christ is king first. Say that you don't stand with Israel first. Do those two things. Then maybe we can have a discussion. Let's go into our apparent heir to the throne, J.D. Vance. Oh, the hero. The American people love him. How great is J.D.? That's not his real name, by the way. How weird is that he changed names like 5 times? He was born James Donald Bowman. Now he's James David Vance. He keeps changing names, doing all this weird stuff. That's besides the point. It's just odd. And I know why. It's because of this going between all these different stepfathers and this and that. And so he kept changing his name. And I've read it. Everyone thinks he's a hero. Everyone thinks that he is the future of Republican politics, that he's the guy that's going to save us. Hillbilly elegy, small town guy who's coming to save us normal folk. Wow. Ignorance is bliss. That's all I can say. Ignorance is bliss if you believe that. Do you understand that he's groomed by Peter Thiel? Rich as rich can be, supports Israel like nobody's business. Owner of Palantir with Alex Karp, a Jewish Israeli supporter. And they just hand him money. They groom him. They get him into Yale University. They get him into law school because this is their guy. They love him. They get him into Yale Law School. He graduates from Yale Law School. They give him money. He becomes a venture capitalist. What does that have anything to do with a law degree? It's a job that he's not really qualified for. Let's be honest here. And then they support his run in politics, $13.5 million or more so far, to get him into politics. And at first, along with them, he was a never Trumper. Back in 2016, another one, a not 2016 Trumper. They didn't like him then. But then they come around and they say, wait a second, maybe we can bring Trump to our side and then all these guys can get in. And so he goes from a never Trumper. He called Trump an American Hitler. That's what he said about Trump. And now he's his vice president and the apparent heir to the Republican throne. The establishment Republican. You can think he's not establishment. He is the establishment. He's the definition of the establishment. And they're trying to make it seem like he's not. They're masters of the PR campaign that they're running. They're masters of it. Let's talk about this Peter Thiel guy a little bit. Co-founder of Palantir. Big Israel supporter. He loves them. Supports that genocide. Gives money to all these pro-Israel organizations. Gives money to J.D. Vance. And man, does he love Palantir. He loves having our information as blackmail. He was probably involved with Epstein. Let's be honest. This all comes back around to that. He loves information that he can then use as blackmail. He loves having access to our phones, our iPad, this stream, these comments y'all are making, all of it. That's Peter Thiel. And that's who groomed J.D. Vance for this position, who brought him up out, said, let's write you a book, let's get you into Yale Law, let's get all these connections, let's get you into a venture capitalist firm, get more connections, more money, let's put you into politics. Peter Thiel was organizing it all. He was behind the scenes of it all. I talked about the Pegasus data, the spyware, how they get all access. That is Peter Thiel. They brought it to America through J.D. Vance. Data leaks show that these systems will target activists, journalists, and political leaders to get information. That's what the leaks show. That's where it targets it. That's what they're diving into because that's what they want. Thiel was on the Epstein documents, on leaked ones. His name was listed as if they're obviously friends. They're all friends. They're all in a big club that we're not in. We can't act like that's not really happening behind the scenes, right? And how did Trump kind of pick up J.D. Vance? How did he grab him and say, this is my guy? Well, Peter Thiel goes to Mar-a-Lago and brings J.D. with him and says, hey, Donald, this is the guy. This is who we need. By the way, you know how much money we've given you? This is our guy. This is who you're going to pick. This one. And they tried to make it seem like it was this big decision. Trump had him picked months, if not years in advance to be his running mate. That's how far along that this was. He's extremely pro-Israel. I mean, extremely. And he comes out and he's playing this little PR campaign-based version of himself right now. He went to Israel and didn't go to the Wailing Wall, didn't go to that, didn't kiss it. He goes to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and does this like weird hype video in there with his Hindu wife. Why? I mean, like at a pure surface level, yeah, we love that. But we know that that's not you. He was at this Turning Point event and tries to play up this whole, we're America first, and it's when they support us and their policies are good for us that we'll support them, but we don't just blindly support them. That's not true, and you know it's not, JD. You blindly support them because you have to, because they put you in power. So yeah, you have to blindly support them. And you're going to play this role like you're not, but we know that you are. You have to look past this. Do you really think that the people in charge of all of the movie that we're watching don't see that we're waking up and understand they need JD in? That's who they need. JD leads to greater Israel. which is what the ultimate goal is in the Middle East. Ultimate power there. That's what JD will lead to. They got to have JD in. So they feed us some small little base statements that he went to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Don't forget, let me show you one thing. Let me just show you this one. What do we see here? Huh? What do we see here? That's JD at the Western Wall, kissing it, put his hand on it, puts a yarmulke on. That's our Christian? That's our Christian dude? That's our Christian hero? Let's take a step back from that part. He calls himself a Christian. What does our Bible say? It says, you shall not be unequally yoked. So he goes and marries a Hindu H-1B un-American immigrant. Has kids with her, names him Vivek after Vivek Ramaswamy, another one, first-gen American. Birthright citizenship is stupid. If my two dogs get pregnant in my yard and run to your yard and have the babies and then run back, or even try to stay there, does that make those puppies yours? No. Even if they got pregnant here and I'm going out of town and I say, hey, can you watch my dogs? Just put them in your backyard and their puppies end up having them. Does that make them your puppies? No. So why do they become our citizens? They shouldn't be. These people are Indian. You know what the Indians are doing? You know what the Hindus are doing right now? I think it's in North Carolina. They're building this 130-acre Hindu pagan temple with like a 500-foot statue of some pagan god. That's America now? And we're okay with that? Oh, freedom of speech. Whoop-de-doo. No. Say Christ is king. Say it, Usha. Say it, little Vivek. Say Christ is king. And JD don't like the fact that she's not Christian. He's saying, oh, I hope she converts. I hope the Holy Spirit works on her. I hope he moves on her and that we get my wife turns Christian. Maybe you should have married a Christian woman to begin with, JD. Maybe that would have been more in line with your religion. But no, you married her because she was brown and it played into your agenda what you wanted to do. Just laying it aside, putting it out there like it is. He wanted to be able to play this whole, oh, I'm the accepting conservative. That's what he wanted to play. So he marries a brown Hindu woman who's not really an American, has children with her, and now it's blowing up in his face. One of the biggest things against his campaign is that. This whole H-1B scam, where they come over, they take our jobs. No, I don't support it. I don't support H-1Bs. But you know who does? Republicans who want cheap labor. Because they come in, they work on average for 30% less than the American worker would work in that same exact tech job. This isn't farming jobs. This isn't blue-collar jobs. This is the high-paying tech jobs. They come in, they take 30% less or more because they want to be here. They overstay their visas. They have children who are then American citizens by the birthright citizenship rule and completely change the culture. Next thing you know, we have Hindu temples going up, 130-acre Hindu temples in our Christian nation. No, say Christ is king. Say it. That's our politics. Say America first. No. Ilhan Omar, all those people, marrying her brother so she can be a citizen and try to run for Congress and push these Muslim things on us. We don't want that. We don't. You're not a citizen. That's not America. That's not it. That's not what we want. Say Christ is king. Say it. It's all fake, and it's shipping people in. You know something? Since the introduction of ChatGPT, the American jobs in tech have shot down. But yet H-1Bs are still going up. They're still taking even more jobs, leaving less for the Americans. And people say, oh, but the Americans aren't wanting to work those jobs. Yes, they are. These are tech jobs. You're acting like they're out shoveling cow crap. In their home country, they do that. Rub it all over themselves. But when they come here, they take tech jobs from the American worker, driving the salary down, making it harder for us. And then guess what? All the houses are gone because we brought in 60 million of these people and 10 million illegals. All the houses are gone. It's driven the house prices up, but you're making less. It's harder to buy a house. It all plays in together. And J.D. Vance married one of them and had kids with them because he wanted to be accepted. And now he's trying to push that to the side and go after who else? But the right's new super queen, Erica Kirk, they're setting that up. They are setting it up. And I pray so hard that by us realizing their little storyline ahead of time, that it doesn't happen, because it makes it even worse if it happens after we realize it. We realize it, we call them out on it, and they still do it. You just wait and see if something happens to Usha. I don't know, she gets into a car accident or something. I pray she doesn't. I mean, I still love these people as individuals. I hope that she doesn't get killed or die inconspicuously. And then, then the two widows. That's even what you call it. JD is basically a widow. He's basically a little girl. Erica and JD, and they team up together in Charlie's legacy. Right into the sunset as president and first lady, our favorite. Christian couple. What do we know about Erica? I obviously don't like JD. What do we know about Erica? Let's dive into her backstory a little bit. It's a little sketchy. Go try to look up her parents online. It's wiped everywhere. I don't even know how to say their last name. Kent Frantzl. And her mother, Lori Frantzl. What about them? What about their history? Do we know anything about that? You know what her dad did for a living? He worked for Raytheon, a defense contractor. He was the chairman of the Israel division of Raytheon. He helped institute and was crucial in the Iron Dome structure, their missile defense system. That's her father. Really think she's pro-Israel? That she's going to push it? What if she said that's anti-Israel? Charlie was coming out, but was Erica? I haven't heard her speaking. This trad wife who crazily just happens to want to go to these college events, fake some tears like she's wiping them. I've never seen one tear drop from her eye. But she's wiping her eyes, acting like it. With these tight leather pants on, like, yeah, that's what a widow, would want to wear in front of a bunch of college students. That seems like you're really grieving, not trying to get attention as you rub your head through JD's hair. Do I have that one pulled up? I feel like I have that one pulled up. Let me see. I really want to see. Yeah, here we go. Share this tab. Yeah, what about this, huh? What about this? In there. I knew we had it pulled up. Yeah, what about this? What do we think about that, huh? Oh, I didn't have it pulled up. What do we think about this, chat, huh? Rubbing her hands through her hair? Yes, I watched the video. I don't care. No woman should go up to a married man. No widowed woman should go up to a married man, and this is a fresh widow, and put her hands up on his head like that. That is weird. I'm going to go and tell you, if any woman hugged me like that, my wife would probably be in prison from the violence that she's about to commit on you. This is not okay. This is crazy. Look at this. Are we serious? Look at this. What else do we have? Is there more pictures of this? Was there more pictures? Yeah, look. And this was after. I don't think I have the video. This was after she's introducing him. And when she says JD Vance, she's all smiles. And she says, and his wife. Makes a face like that. She doesn't like Usha. They're playing this friendly role. They don't like each other. And it's the scene, it's all been set up. In the same speech that when she introduces JD, he goes into a speech about how he wishes his wife was a Christian. He's going to kick her to the curb, or something's going to happen to her. He's going to marry Erica. And I hope that by predicting it, we interrupt it and don't let it happen. That's what I hope. But that's the scene that they're trying to set up in soft launch. Erica is not trustworthy when it comes to this stuff. Her father, sketchy, pro-Israel. Her mom, Lori, worked directly with the Department of Homeland Security and for the pro-Israel geofencing companies. These initiatives to geofence things to push certain Israeli policy. This is happening in churches all across the western part of the United States, especially in the Southwest. They're geofencing churches to know who goes in there so they can push pro-Israel content. Her mom worked for that. She was all about that. Very weird. And all this information's gone. They're trying to wipe this information out from the face of the earth. They don't want us to have it. Is it not weird how Erica was a part of Trump's pageants back when he was having them? That's sketchy to me. She's been friends with Trump for a very long time. Her parents and her have been friends with Israel for a very long time, and all of their history is like wiped. You can't find it. This pretty, I will say, substantially famous family to an extent, and you can't find anything about them. You know what she did before she dates Charlie Kirk? She's a romance actor. She's playing in these reality shows, these romance shows, putting on this whole act. I've seen videos. She acts. She acts when she's wiping these tears away, and then she smiles real big, talking about JD Vance and how JD has qualities like her her husband had. And nobody could ever replace Charlie, but maybe JD could. He has the qualities of somebody that could replace him. And she first notices Charlie in Israel when she's with her mom. And ooh, that's mine. She's out looking for a husband, an influential husband that she's going to influence and be a little honeypot for through her family who's setting it all up, and they're all about it. And then she gets, just crazily, she gets a job interview with him. How crazy is that? And he falls in love, and he says, I can't give you a job because I want to date you. That's their love story. And they date, they have kids, and they're America's sweetheart couple until Charlie comes out against Israel. Until he starts saying, hey, I don't support what's going on with these Jewish people. Why is there money and everything? Why do they control politics? Next thing you know, she's not with that. Her family's not with that. Charlie's dead. Israel don't like him. He's assassinated. They sweep it all under the rug. They blame it on some dude who might be right wing, who might be left wing. We don't really know. The sides fight each other, and Israel runs off into the sunset, and they're happy because the right and the left are fighting again. Nobody's noticing them. The Epstein files aren't released. It all played out perfectly for them. Who benefited the most? Israel. Are we questioning that? Who benefited the most from all of this? It was Israel. And somehow they always benefit from everything that happens. Have you noticed that? Who benefited from 9/11? Israel. Who benefited from JFK's assassination? Israel. Who benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination? Israel. It's them. Every time. Does it not throw up a red flag that, hey, maybe they're involved? And yet our politicians, our Republican politicians, like Erica and like JD and like Trump and like Marco and like Ted, they love Israel. That's their people. That's their funders. It's all a big club that we're not in. And they hate us when we speak about it. I can show it all to you. I'm bringing it right here. What about the Romanian orphanage with Erica? She runs this Romanian orphanage. She might have been married before. That got wiped off. And in this orphanage, all these kids end up disappearing. They shut down the orphanage. Nobody talks about that. They try to throw it under the rug also. That might have been involved with Epstein also. With child trafficking, and yet Erica's our sweetheart. And we can't talk about her, though. That's a widow. How dare you talk about a widow like that? I don't care what she is. Evil is evil, and she seems evil. Do you not get that vibe from her? This fake crying, leather pants, big smiles, WWE, cold sparks behind me as I come out to talk about my husband dying. Is it not weird? I mean, guys, is it not weird, the establishment right actions? I'm going to come back and answer some questions if y'all have any. Leave them in the chat wherever it's at. I'm going to go back and look through as I finish up here. I got fired up hearing all these Jews talk about it this weekend. And this is just a few of them. This is just their top people that they love, that they cherish, that they're diving into because they're so big. And guess what? Me and you, we're chopped liver. They don't care about us because we question Israel. We question the International Jewish Organization. That's what it is. It goes across country. They're the only people who across a single actual country's lines all will support this one nation. It's transnational. That's why Israel is different. Every Jew in the world, 95% of the Jews in the world support Israel. No matter where they're at, they support Israel. It's a load of crap. You have to see through the lies. These Republicans, I'm going to say they see through the lies, but they don't support the lies. They probably know what's going on, but they're getting paid. They're getting put in positions of power. So they support it. They're all for it. If you speak out, you get canceled. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massey, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes for 10 years. Canceled. No more. Me, I've been taken off of TikTok now. I made another one, by the way, at Jarrod Wright, in case you want to go follow it. But they don't like us when we speak out against these things. You start talking about the Jews, you start talking about Israel, you start talking about Zionists, you're a liar, or you are an anti-Semite. That's what happens. That's the narrative. That's what they want. I'm not with that. I'm not with this establishment right. And honestly, I hope that y'all get freaking landslided in the midterms. I hope every one of y'all gets pushed out. I hope the Democrats gain so many seats. That's my hope at this point. Call me an accelerationist if you want. The Democrats will ruin it. That's beyond the question. If you're here, you probably think that. If the left wins all these seats, they're going to absolutely destroy the country. Gavin Newsom will destroy the country. But maybe we need that so that we can have a true revolution. Because right now we're like an NBA team that, like my team, the Hawks, that just sit in the middle and never do anything. We're never winning championships, but we're never getting good enough draft picks to actually do something. We're just right in the middle. I'm not with that. We have to rebuild. That's what you'd call it in sports terms. Rebuild. That's what we need right now. We need to rebuild America back to what it needs to be. And perhaps we need total destruction for that. Perhaps we need to ship some of these people out that are kind of holding us back, these middle of the roaders who are like, well, I like this policy, but not this one. No, gone. Democrats, y'all run it for 10 years. Let's destroy it and rebuild it how it needs to be. Maybe that's what we need at this point. Because I'm tired of getting this bullcrap infighting from the right side. That's like, oh no, you don't support this, so we're going to cancel you. You're too far right for us. Well, you know what? You're not even right wing to begin with. Truly, you're a liberal. Honestly, when did we become okay with all of the gay rights stuff? Gay rights weren't even accepted by the Democrats 20 years ago, and now the Republicans are okay with it, and yet we call them right wing. When did we become okay with that? No, we don't need gay people. We don't want that legalized. It's stupid. I'm sorry if you don't like that. Grow up and figure out what happens. It ruins nations. Sexual immorality of any kind, whether that's homosexuality, that's sex before marriage, pornography, it ruins nations. It is satanic work at play. Say Christ is king. Say Christ is king. That's our politics. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this crap from the left and the right, which is really the left. It's time for us to stand up. The train is coming through, and you can either get on or you can get off the freaking tracks because we're moving. We're growing. Every single day we are growing because people like Tucker and Nick are speaking out. They are pushing it. They are driving this train with us, and we're all on board, and we're coming through. And if people like Tel Aviv Ted and Marco and JD don't get out of the way, we're going to run them over. We may cause some destruction on the way there, but we're getting to our final destination. We will not stop. What a rant. Okay. Let me get a sip of water. Let's go through some of these chats. If you haven't sent anything in, go ahead, send it in. I'm going to try to answer questions, comments, concerns, whatever you got. Let me scroll through some of these. I'm going to start over here on the YouTube Rumble side, Facebook. Oh. A dog born in a stable isn't a horse. Great point. Great point. It's not. That's another great example. This is why the H-1Bs are not citizens. That's why birthright citizenship is stupid. They're not Americans. That's not America. Outside of racism, I'm not trying to bring race into this right now. But 75 years ago, America was a 90% white country, and now we're down to like 55. So the cultural shift, because that's what it is, this massive cultural shift of what America was and what it is now is completely different because of things like this, because of immigration. I'm not for legal or illegal immigration anymore. We have too many people here, not enough houses, not enough jobs, not enough money in those jobs. There's too many people here. And just because you're born here does not make you an American. Just like a dog born in a stable is not a horse. That's a great point. Christ is king. Amen. Realize, realize, realize. Great name. The same issues are present in Canada. Indian immigration has been a mess. Yeah, I feel like Indian immigration has been big there. And I also feel like Muslim immigration has been big. And I might be wrong on this, but I feel like a lot of the Muslim populations in Dearborn and in Minnesota and people like Ilhan, I feel like they're coming through from Canada and kind of feeding south into America. I may be wrong on that. Correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like you're in Canada. That's my take on it, and I'm not a fan of it. Sorry, this isn't a Muslim nation. This isn't a Hindu nation. You have the freedom to worship, but that doesn't mean we're going to give you the freedom to do all this crap like building statues. I don't even think necessarily we should allow them to be in our Congress. This is a Christian nation. Say Christ is king. Oh, you won't do it? Big surprise. Opinion on Nicholas J. Fuentes. I love Nick personally. I listen to a lot of his stuff. I watch a lot of his shows. I think that he has incredible takes. He's one of the first guys who I really enjoyed watching. Now, I don't agree with him on everything. I think he's a little harsh on women. I think he's a little harsh on the non-Catholic crowd. I think that he says some things that are a little bit out there and maybe a little bit distasteful. But I can't say that he's a liar. I mean, that's the truth. And he brings a lot of really good points. And the fact that he's been doing this for over a decade while they tried to cancel him speaks a lot to him and his perseverance, because he's a lot of the reason why people are waking up. So for that matter, I think Nick's a great guy, honestly. I think he's great for the movement. He is America first right now. Right now, he is the right wing. You're either Tel Aviv Ted and Trump, or you're Nick. That's it. So he's one of the leaders. I'm happy him and Tucker kind of got together. It kind of gave me a little bit more trust in Tucker because I was kind of questionable on him. But yeah, I mean, I was questionable on Nick. I'll scroll up here, get some questions that y'all had. I'm on Instagram now. Jesus the Christ is the one true Messiah. Amen. And if you don't know that, I like to share the gospel on this show. Jesus is King. Give your life to him. Turn your life over and let him be your Lord. See how much better it gets. See how much peace you have. Accept the Holy Spirit. It's incredible. You know, it changed my life, honestly. Honestly, truly accepting the Holy Spirit changed my life. And I hope that for all of y'all. Christ is King. Let's go. They obviously want Erica Kirk to be the next first lady. I originally thought that they were setting her up to be with Trump. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. She's their little queen right now. I mean, she won Miss Arizona, you know. She was the queen at one point. Now they want her to be the queen again. Whether that's JD, whether that's Trump, I think it's coming in some capacity. The issue was she couldn't be the queen whenever Charlie was president because Charlie was coming out against Israel. They wanted her to be the queen with Charlie, though. That was the whole plan. That's why she was planted there, because they wanted her to be the queen with Charlie when Charlie was pro-Israel and was with the establishment and was doing what they wanted and taking the money. And then he said, whoa, whoa, whoa. This past year, he said, I'm not with this stuff. That completely flipped. That changed. And they said, no. We can't have that, Charlie. Erica's still going to be the queen, but you're not going to be the king. Whack. And he's gone. Just like that. That's all it takes. You get a following. You speak out on Israel, they whack you off. That sounded bad. Pause. That's not what I meant. They whack you off the face of the earth. How about that? So I think they want her to be the queen, but the queen needs a king, and Charlie couldn't be the king if he speaks out against Israel. So yeah, I agree with you there. I meant to write Golden Dome projects in regard to Israel is what I heard. I'm guessing you meant Iron Dome. Stay safe, Patriots. Get your PT in. Prep accordingly. Be ready to act. I got a split. Hey, amen. He's gone now. Great message, though. Get ready. Be ready. Do you understand the war that's coming? There is civil war on the way. It's scary, to say the least. But it's coming. It's time to grow up a little bit. It's time to get your exercise in. It's time to get your running in. It's time to get prepared. It's time to get your ammunition in stock. It's time to be prepared, because I'm scared the war is coming. I'm not calling for violence, but I'm scared that it's going to come regardless. So get ready. Be prepared. Be a man and be prepared. That's important. Erica wouldn't have been born yet when her dad was the architect on Trump's bunkers under the Trump Tower. How old is the woman? Erica's 36, 37. I think she was 5 years older than Charlie. And that's another thing with Erica. I was going to speak about the fact that, okay, she didn't get married until she was 31. They've been married for 5 years. She was 31 when she got married. This trad Catholic woman who's all about being a traditional wife wasn't married until she was 31, didn't have kids until thereafter. That's not very trad wife of you. The trad wife movement is let's get married young and start having kids, and I'm all for that. But she waited till she was like 31, 32, 33 before she even had her first child. That doesn't seem very trad wife of her. And then you start looking at these rumors that she was married before and got divorced in 2017, and then everything gets set up to work it with Charlie after that. It makes sense. It really does. Because in 2013, what would that make? That would have been 12 years ago. That would have made her 24. That makes a whole lot more sense. Around the time of this Romanian orphanage stuff. I think she's sketchy on all regards. I mean, we can't just say no to that. These Jews disgust me. They set everything up for the kid, just like he is saying. I grew up around them. I'm assuming you're talking about JD as the kid. maybe for Charlie's kids. But yeah, I mean, people get mad. You say the word Jew. I hate to break it to you. 90 to 95% of Jews are Zionist. Why say Zionist? I mean, if 90 to 95% of any people group agrees with something, you can just name them by the people group. I'm sorry. That's like saying, okay, the statement, well, Asians are the smartest. That's because they are. They have higher IQs than all of us. It's not weird if we say Asians. Well, the intellectual, educated Asians are smarter than us. You don't have to break it down. Just say Asians. That's the whole point. Just like, well, the blacks are more athletic than the white people. We don't have to break it down and saying, well, these specific blacks are more athletic than these specific white people. No, the blacks are just more athletic. That's what you say because it's a majority. It's most of them. That's what you do. That's what you do. So yeah, y'all can say Jew. I'm sorry. If that makes me an anti-Semite, I claim it. Woohoo! Put me as number 1 on there. Palantir. International Jewry is a huge threat to America. Yeah, it is. Because it's transnational, like I said. Transnational organized Jewry is a problem. They usher in pornography. They usher in transgenderism. They usher in everything bad. Usury. You know why the banks are the way that they are? You want to know why the economy is so bad? Look no further than the Jews and their international little organization of each other that all are doing everything they can for Israel. That's the truth. It's a freaking problem. Jews in Israel came out to the street against Zionism. Yeah, a few of them did. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, yeah, a few of them did. And if I'm not mistaken, it's even a different branch of Judaism or who the Jews they were doing it. So it's like, still, you can call it the Jews. Like, I'm sorry. That's just a fact. If you want to say Zionist and be all fancy, fine. Say Zionist. But I'm just saying it's pretty much the Jews. I'm glad America is waking up. Britain needs to do the same. Yeah, Britain's freaking overrun right now. Have y'all seen that crap? They're just shipping in people who aren't British, calling them British like they're trying to do in America. That place is a hellhole right now. I mean, it is pitiful. That's what's coming here soon. That nation is smaller. There's less square footage there. America is bigger, more spread out, so it's a little harder to bring it in at that scale, but that's what's happening in Britain. Britain isn't Britain anymore. America is not going to be America anymore before long. And that's all of Europe. All of Europe, you see this massive Islamic movement coming through. You see the Jews pushing what they want to do. You see this crazy amount of migration in these places, and it ruins the culture. You get rid of what that nation built themselves on. It's not right. I hope Britain wakes up too. I hope they come up. I hope Britain gets on the America First movement. How about that? Let's get Britain on the America First movement. Let's just bring everything back to how it was. We'll just over instead of us serving them, they can serve us. That's what I want. That'd be sick. Charlie spoke out against the Zionism quite a bit before he was assassinated. Yeah, exactly. He spoke out. He said things against them. He said things that were anti-Israel. He said things I didn't like. He gets whacked. He gets killed because of that. At a base level, that's the obvious truth. And then people say, my favorite one is, well, if the Jews in Israel were going to kill somebody, they would have killed Tucker or Nick or Candace, right? Not Charlie. Do you understand how obvious it would be? If Tucker Carlson woke up dead tomorrow, who do you think did it? It's obvious that Israel did it. But Charlie hadn't publicly came out in the way that Tucker has. And so they had to do it. They had to do it soon, because the more that he transitioned away from them, the more and more obvious it would become. And so the people that say that, like, I feel like that's one of the lowest IQ responses when people are like, well, they would have killed one of these other people like Candace or Tucker or Nick. No, they wouldn't have, because it becomes obvious. And then everybody says, wait a second now. We know who killed them. It's like a murder mystery where you know who the killer is from the first page. That's no fun. It's pretty easy to call out. They're not going to do that. They're a little bit smarter than that. They're not very smart, but they're a little smarter than that. Oh, let's see. Going to have to clip that last bit. I don't even know which bit that was. Maybe I'll clip it. We'll see. Dems needed votes so they could win, and it comes with the illegals. Exactly. Why do we... Thank you for this. Thank you for... Who said this? Platinum blonde person? Okay. Exactly. That's as easy as it comes. And this is left-wing Jews, by the way, that push this. They're going to bring in H-1B Indians. They're going to bring in illegals. They're going to bring in as many people as they can, and then they vote for them. Why do you think that the left is the one with issues that you have to have a driver's license? You have to be an American citizen to vote. And they want to hand out driver's license to everybody. These Indians that are killing people, driving trucks. Have you seen that? They're not even here legally. They're driving these trucks, doing random crap with a little music playing, and they freaking kill people all over the interstate. That's a problem because they're just handing out driver's license so they can vote. That's what it's all about. That's what it boils down to. You want to know why the black vote has went through the Democrats since the 60s? Do you know? Do you know what happened? Huh? When they signed the civil rights movement, do you know what he says, Lyndon B. Johnson? He says, don't kill me on this one. Once I sign this, the Civil Rights Act, once I sign this, these niggers will vote for us forever. That's what they said. And yet y'all bow down to him to get his vote. And what's the point of that? Why are we diving into that? That's all 4 votes to keep them in office, to keep them making money. And it's awful. It's terrible. No, I don't support what Lyndon B. Johnson said as he signed that. He was a known racist. He signed it to get votes. So yeah, that's why they're bringing in the illegals. That's why the left-wing Jews are doing that. Christ is king. Amen. Amen. Christ is king. Putin declared Russia a Christian nation. Why doesn't Trump do that for America? Because Trump's not Christian. I mean, he converted to Judaism. Trump's not a Christian. He doesn't want to be a Christian. He wants to be a Jew. He's proud that his daughter, Ivanka, is a Jew with Jared Kushner. He loves old Jared Kushner. They're all Jews now. They're not Christians. They push the Christian agenda because they want to play off the backs of everybody, but they're not Christians. They're Jews. That's the issue. As a Muslim, I love Jesus. We're waiting for his return. We will believe he will bring justice to the world full of injustice, and he will kill the Antichrist and come with the message of the first coming. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing that I found is a lot of Muslim people actually will support Christians a whole lot more than Jews will. And because of that, I think that honestly, I think the Christian faith is much closer to the Muslim faith than Judaism. I don't think Muslims worship the same God as us. I don't think that Jews do either. And the thing with the Muslim faith is, and this is not me trying to hate on y'all, this is me spreading love to you and spreading the gospel of Christ. If you believe that the Quran is true, by definition, in the verses of the Quran, it says the Bible is true. Do you know what Hebrews 1:1 and 2 says? It says there will be no more prophets. It says Jesus is the last prophet. So how is Muhammad going to be a prophet? Yes, Jesus was a prophet, but he was also the Son of God. He is God. He is king. Christ is king. So how can you have another prophet in Muhammad? If you believe the Quran is true, the Quran says the Bible is true. But if you believe the Bible is true, you cannot believe the Quran. So I love my Muslim brothers and sisters. I mean, I love y'all's support. Y'all been backing me. Thank you. Honestly, you've opened my eyes a little bit. Now, I love you. I also don't want a Muslim overrun of the country, and many don't. Look at guys like Myron Gaines. He speaks on that as a Muslim, if I'm not mistaken that he is. But I'm sorry, Christ is king. He's the guy we want. I'm sorry, Muhammad wasn't a prophet. He was another guy, just like in the Mormon faith, who went out and made up his own stuff. Oh, let's see. Christ is king again. Let's go. With the church geofencing, Texas wasn't mentioned in the document, but a lot of Texas churches were on the list, including 2 I grew up at and one that you attend now. Blake Baldwin, 14. That's crazy. Who was behind a lot of that? Erica Kirk's mother. Big surprise for Israel. It's so sketchy. It's so terrifying. It's mind-boggling to know that this is the point that we're at. If you carry this thing right here, this phone right here, if you carry it around with you, they know everything about you. They know where you're at. They know what you're listening to. I've even seen people talk about how they were geofencing so specifically that the pastors were in on it in these Protestant, very pro-Israel churches. And the pastors would basically kind of like put in there like, okay, I'm speaking on, let's just say, forgiveness this week, which is in and of itself is a good sermon. I'm not putting down forgiveness, but they will then basically put like a code in to where the geofencing ads are about forgiveness. And the posts you see are about forgiveness. If your phone entered this specific space on this specific day in which he spoke about forgiveness, and then people say, well, that must have been God speaking to me about this. And then they push that idea on you. And that's disgusting. That is witchcraft, if you want me to be honest with you. It's skewing things in a not really biblical way and trying to make people think that God's acting on them when they're not. And I can't get behind that. Damascus with two angels. Nick Fuentes is a legend. Amen. Heck yeah. I love Nick Fuentes. I mean, like I said, he is a legend. And regardless of if you think he's a little harsh, because like I said, sometimes I do, but I back most of what he says. You have to agree with the ideas that he puts forth, and you have to admire and honor the perseverance. That dude had to make his own streaming platform to even be able to speak to people. Cozy TV. He had to literally create his own streaming platform to even be able to speak to people through all of this because he was canceled so hard. He couldn't fly anywhere. He was on the no-fly list. They arrested him, saying he was part of January 6th, and he wasn't. And that's a whole other issue. So yeah, Nick Fuentes, I mean, at a minimum, he's a legend. The irony that most of the people on Israel's side also have no idea just how many people are against them now. Yeah, I mean, it truly is pretty ironic. If I'm not mistaken, I seen a statistic that said that the majority of the United States is anti-Israel now. They're not for it. They don't want it, and that's the majority. Now, the majority of the right wing, I don't know, but it is pretty ironic, and they're in scramble mode. I've talked about it before. They're scrambling right now because they know that this is going to get shut down. The anti-Israel movement grew exponentially towards so many of us, and now they're freaked out and they don't know what to do because they had this plan all lined up on what to do. I mean, Bibi wrote a book in 1995 about bombing the Twin Towers and then does it, running planes into them. He was like, well, if I was a terrorist, I would have planes hijacked and run into the Twin Towers. That's what the Islamic people are going to do. That's what he wrote about. And what happened 6 years later, the exact thing he wrote about, like, I think you might have thought that one through a little bit and let it play out exactly how you wanted to do it. Maybe. They had a plan. It's all scripted. But now their plan, the script didn't account for the fact that we were all going to wake up, and now they're freaked out. And that's what we see. Let's see here. They set up everything for their own children. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what you're speaking of there. Marriages, jobs, etc., all via the Jew network. I'm guessing you're talking about Jews, Peanut 99991. I mean, Jewish people do set everything up for their children. They're rich. The Rothschilds, I mean, they've had it set up for, centuries for their own children and how they handle their finances, how they handle their money. So these very rich Jewish clans, they do set things up very well, if that's what you're speaking to. Jews are an international tribe. Yep, we spoke on that one. Thank you for highlighting that the Muslims love and believe in Jesus, and we're also waiting for his return. No problem. 95% of Jews follow the Talmud. Let's be real. Exactly. Have y'all went and read the Talmud? Jews will back this hard. And what the Talmud is, they have the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible that we also study. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. That's the Torah. The rest of the Old Testament is encompassed in I forget what it's called, whatever. That's another book. Then the Talmud is this collection of rabbis debating things and what they think is okay, and this is what they study. And so what they'll try to say, they'll try to spin it and say, well, we actually don't believe that this rabbi was just saying it. That's not true. What it says in there, it's okay to suck a baby's penis when you circumcise it. I don't even know how to pronounce that crap. Mitzvah, that's what it's called. You circumcise it, you suck it off. That's pedophilia, actually. That's what that's called. You might be able to pronounce the Jewish term, but I know what it is in English. Pedophilia. Disgusting. That's what it is. They're okay with that. They're okay with raping children. They think that we're animals. They think that Jesus is burning in hell and his own crap boiling in a bucket. That's what they teach. And yet they're our greatest ally? Are you kidding me? It's terrible. This is in their book. Go read it. Honestly, go open one and read it and see what you think. It's honestly terrifying because when I read it, I said, I can't support these people anymore. The Talmud is disgusting. And 95% of the Jews follow them, like this guy said. What else we got? Oh, let's keep scrolling. Sorry, trying to find another one. Looks like some of y'all are talking back and forth. Trump and Netanyahu are hand in hand planning to build Trump's resort in Gaza. He said it and he wasn't joking. Jared Kushner said they've been planning it for years. I agree with that. I think that this isn't just an ethnic cleansing that's happening in Gaza. It's complete obliteration of it. It's complete destruction of every building there, leveling it to the ground, because that's how you get Hamas out, obviously, is destroy every piece of society that's there. And then they're going to come in and build resorts. I mean, it's a beautiful area. If you've seen before videos and such, before all this genocide happens, it's beautiful there, honestly. It's like a Florida coast in a way, with kind of a Middle Eastern spin on it. Um, I could see Trump building a resort there and saying, you know what, we're gonna, we love Israel. This is all a part of Israel, if you want to call it that. So I'm gonna put a resort there and call it Jewelago or something. I mean, and then all the rich people will party there. They'll probably bring in all the little children worldwide for them to go ahead and sleep with, have designated bedrooms up. Epstein will probably, come back to life. We won't hear about it. He'll be there stationed, taking notes of everything. It's going to be a wonderful resort. That's what they're going to say. I mean, honestly, I believe that's what's going to happen. I'm not with the resort. I don't want that crap. I think it's demonic, but that's probably what's going to happen if we're being honest. They do believe that Trump is King David, that like a messianical character, special hero for them. And if the Jews say that Trump is that, then how can we be with Trump? If we're being honest here, they've crowned him like some special thing. I forgot what it is. Basically saying that he's like this Messiah type person to them. That he's like this king that's delivering them. And I'm not with that. And it makes me not with Trump anymore. They aren't Jewish. They only care about greed and retribution. Here's what I'm going to say. They are Jewish. They're not Israelites. They're not of the Abrahamic faith. I think that ended in about 70 AD with the destruction of Jerusalem. If you notice, they don't follow any of the rules of the Old Testament. Where's the sacrifices? Where's the temple worship? Do they actually follow it? The only one they care about is the freaking Sabbath. I mean, God forbid I wipe my own butt on the Sabbath or tear the toilet paper off. That's terrible. God would hate that. But yet they don't do any of the sacrifices. What's up with that? They don't follow the Jewish rules. That's why I don't think they're Jewish. Because, well, let me say this. They don't follow the Abrahamic rules. That's why they say they're Jewish, because it's not even the same religion. It's different. These Jews we see today have nothing to do with Abraham, have nothing to do with Moses and the Mosaic Law. They have nothing to do with it. That's my take on them. So, yeah, I would say they are Jewish. They're not Israelites. They're not Hebrew people. Trump is a slave of the Jew billionaires, like the Adelsons. Yeah, he is, because they give him hundreds of millions of dollars. Like I said, that comes with stipulations. It's not a very like straightforward, hey, here's just some money, whoop-de-doo. No, here's some money, and now do this, this, and this. That's what happens, especially in that amount of money. I'll keep going. It's going to be intriguing to see what these ads are when people start getting them and realizing that they are from the geofencing. It is going to be interesting to see the reaction to it. Like, are people going to realize that this is geofencing and say, "Wait a second," or are they going to maintain this thought that it's from God? Because I think so many people are brainwashed, like we see with this whole Israel thing. I think they're brainwashed and they're going to think, "Oh, God is sending me a special message." Just like we've seen the Mormons do when it comes to Joseph Smith. The special message to them, he's speaking to me, and God speaks to us, don't get me wrong. But I think that the pastors and I think that the pro-Israel lobby, I think the Jewish people are going to play on this idea that God speaks to us, and they're going to take it and twist it for their own benefit and then use it so people think that God's speaking to them about these messages. It's going to lead to ad revenue. It's going to lead to purchases from ads because they think God's speaking to them. They need to do certain things. And I'm not with that. I'm not with geofencing. I think it's a terrible misrepresentation of what America should be. Why a white American will support Jews, I don't really get it. Yeah, I don't really get it. What's interesting too when it comes to race is when it benefits them, they classify themselves as white, but when it's not good for them and every other time, when it's just neutral, they don't classify themselves as white. It's a whole weird little thing with Jews. The whole race thing with Jews is interesting. Like, they're proud to be Jewish and they claim that as their race until it benefits them to claim that they're white. And then they'll claim that they're white. And then they'll go back and say that they're not white. Let's see. I'm for sure going to realize it. I've alerted my fiance, her parents, and her friends. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that you're getting to realize it. I'm hoping everybody else wakes up to it and sees it and says, we don't want that. But here's the thing, these right here are detrimental. These are detrimental. They're great, don't get me wrong, but they're because the location services and everything about them, people are going to misuse that. They're going to misuse great technology and they're going to misuse it for their own benefit for our demise. Whether that is like the easy access to pornography that we have, we see major upticks in that because of these. I mean, how easy is it? It's destroying your mind, young men. If you're addicted to pornography, stop. Pray about it. Stop. Right? Don't let it ruin your life. It's ruining your mind, and the roots grow deeper and deeper. And things like this make it so easy. Whoa, we're taking pictures. Make it so easy to just dive into that. Stop it. Pray to the Lord. Cut that out of your life. It's ruining you. And it'll ruin your marriage. It'll ruin your life. But they're going to use things like that to influence you and to trick you. Now, thankfully, we're waking up and we're using it for good things. We're using it to spread the gospel. We're using it to bring people onto this America First train. We're waking people up. We're red pilling people with it. We're trying to use it, but still, a lot of people are using this for bad. And that's it's the sad part of technology. There's beauty in it, and there's a sad part to it. There's a sad connotation behind it, and I hate that. But it is what it is. We try to use it for good. We push for it to use it for good. They're listening through this. Palantir is used on this, but what can you say? Ivanka's marriage with the Kushners really seems shady. Yeah, it is. She converts to Judaism. Trump loves it. He's all for it because he's a Jew now. Jared Kushner lives at 666 Freedom Avenue, whatever it is, 666. Somebody told me what it was the other day. I always forget what the street name is because I'm more focused on the 666 part. Is that not weird? Jared Kushner's weird. Ivanka's weird. Trump's weird now. They're all Jewish. The whole marriage seems weird, scripted, which also is another reason why Trump is so big on Israel. His daughter's a Jew and her husband is from Israel. Wow. Oh, let's see. Muslims and Christians need to unite. The Antichrist is coming soon. Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm kind of with that to some extent. We need to unite against Judaism, but I hope to bring y'all fully on our side of Christianity. I mean, I'm not trying to go back and forth on like this weird religious, debate. I mean, obviously you have yours, I have mine. I hope you say Christ is King. I hope you come to that. But y'all give at least more admiration for Christ than the Jews do. Like I said before, if you believe in the Bible, read Hebrews 1:1 and 1:2, those two verses. It says that Jesus will be the last prophet. Before there were lots of prophets. Now Jesus is the end of it. His word is a prophet. So how can we have Muhammad after Jesus? I'll go back to that point. I can't get with that. I'm sorry, not going to be a Muslim. But like you said, we can team up against the Jews. I'm all for that. I'm all for it. Hopefully in the meantime, we influence you to come over to Christianity. Pornography is leading the downfall of the young men in our country. Yeah, it's ruining it. I am big on banning pornography. Somebody tell me one benefit of pornography. Please. Somebody write in these comments right now one benefit of pornography. I guarantee you can. There's none. Zero. Zilch. It's ruining young men. It's taking our daughters and completely ruining their innocence because they say, ooh, look, I'll show my body off. They get paid. They think it's cool. It's prostitution. And who runs the porn sites, huh? Jewish people. Rabbi Shmuley and his daughter selling dildos together. Jewish people on Pornhub. Jewish people running OnlyFans. Who's the biggest single donor to AIPAC? Ban them. When it comes to pornography, what happens when states ban it? They say, hey, you have to be 18 and verify it in order to access this site. Pornhub takes it down. They say, well, we're not going to offer our services there anymore. What's their agenda? Get young men addicted. Get them brainwashed. Teach them that these are normal things when they're not. It's evil. And it's Jewish run. Like everything else, it's evil. Jewish. Big surprise. How long do you think it'll be until we see them place geofences on church across the whole nation? Honestly, it might be happening right now, if we're being truthful. They say it's only in the Midwest area, Southwest area of the United States. It might be everywhere right now. And they just haven't announced it yet. They haven't put it out yet because they tend to be 5 years ahead of everything, if we're being honest. So it might be right now, but I don't think it'll be long unless we stop it, unless we say, hey, this is bullcrap. Great question. What should we do about voting in the next election? If JD runs, knowing everything we do about his marriage and Erica and et cetera, what should we do? We need to start preparing to have a great candidate right now. We need a candidate to step up that's going to really blow our minds away. It's going to be America first, truly serve our purposes. Right now, Thomas Massey might be the closest to it, but he's really not, number one on my radar. I wish Fuentes was old enough. I know Tucker won't do it. So what do we do? Who do we vote for? Personally, I couldn't bring myself to vote Democrat, but if we just don't show up, let the Democrats take control, like I said, wipe it out. It's a hard. We've done this thing where we're just allowing these middle of the road Republicans to come in. They still support Israel. They're not really giving us what we want. We're not seeing H-1Bs get banned. We're not seeing mass deportations. We're not seeing any improvement in the economy. So they're just like barely saying the right things, and it's not really benefiting us in any way. So let's let the other side have it for a change. Look what happened with Obama. Obama had some bullcrap, and we get the mass pendulum swing back to 2016 Trump. It was pretty based, if we're being honest. So maybe we need to let that pendulum just go ahead and swing it back, far left, let them destroy it so that we can get a real leader come in on the right side. We have somebody major come in. That's kind of my position right now, unless we get somebody who is freaking awesome. That's a red-pilled, based, America first, screw you, Israel, we stand for Christ as King. Unless we get that candidate, why vote, honestly? Let them win it. As much as I hate to say it because I love this country, but in loving this country, just like you would a sports team, sometimes I got to rebuild. Sometimes you got to start over. Sometimes you got to get rid of your like okay players and just suck for a couple of years while you're getting the new good players in. Sometimes that's what you got to do, and I hate it, but that's just the truth. We need to wake up, people. The connection between Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, the Kushners, they're all part of the same tribe linked to Mossad. Absolutely. Mossad runs it all. Mossad, Jewish intelligence, man, they are all over it. They're probably in this chat. Are any of y'all Mossad agents? Let me know. Will you say it? Say Christ is King. Everybody in the chat, say Christ is King. That way I know you're not a Mossad agent because I know they won't say it, right? They run it all. And they're getting this blackmail. They're running up their whole thing. I can't handle it. I can't handle Mossad. I can't handle Israel. We can't handle it. And we cannot handle any politician, Republican or Democrat, who supports them. Christ is King. Let's go. Free America from AIPAC. Amen. Hey, if you want a Free America from AIPAC shirt, go check out The Real Clyde. He was on the show. He's awesome. He's got a great brand. I don't want to mispronounce it. It's QOMA. It's in his bio. They have some sick shirts. Awesome shirts saying, hey, Free America from AIPAC. So if you really support that, go get you a shirt. We have to separate from Israel. It must be done. Not a dime to another nation ever again. Amen. The only time that I agree with us intervening is the opposite way of how we're intervening with Israel right now. I want to see the genocides put out. I'm all for standing for innocent people of any background. If they're being wiped out, if they're being genocided, I'm for that. That's the only time I want to see us putting our pennies and our dollars to things. Otherwise, it should stay in America. The taxpayer, we are slaves. We pay more right now in taxes than slaves ever have throughout history. True slavery before, I'm going to say 1800 or whatever. Slavery in the United States was different. By the way, you want to know who was in charge of the slave trade? It wasn't white people. That's a lie the history books told you. Back to Ghislaine Maxwell, her father owns all the history books. McGraw-Hill that you grew up reading, yeah, he's the one that owns it. Again, when it comes to their benefit, they classify themselves as white. He says white people own slaves. No, it was Jewish people. Like 75% of slave owners were Jewish, which is insane considering the minute amount of Jews here in America at the time and now. So it wasn't white people, it was Jewish people, but they associated as white so that they could say white and pin us as the bad guys. No, I don't agree with slavery. But it was Jewish people who did it. It was Jewish people on the ships because they were making money on it. It was Jewish people the whole time. Slavery before then was a monetary amount paid. I brought this up about Israelites when they were enslaved to Egypt. This wasn't whipped slavery. This was, hey, you're here, but you're going to pay us 25%. And they called that slavery, and they couldn't stand it. That's slavery. We're slaves, by the way, in case you were wondering. We have to, that was the one I just read. Nick Fuentes is too young to be the president in the next election, but he'll be president as soon as he's ready. Yeah. I mean, have y'all seen Kalshi? I mean, the bets right now are pretty crazy high. It says like by 2045 will Nick Fuentes be president. It's up to like 30%. I don't think anybody ever had that high of a well, odds like this, like gambling like this, has only been around for a short period of time. I don't think we could have ever said, like, with a 30% chance surety that somebody will be president in the next 20 years who's at least 10 years removed from being president by age. That's crazy. I mean, that's pretty wild to think about. How many people are behind him? Because he has a movement, man. Right? How can you call it a movement when you have no motion? That's what he says. How can you call it a movement when you have no motion? One of my favorite clips of him. He's got a movement. He has motion. People love him. I wish he could be president, honestly, but he doesn't meet the age requirement, and so he waits in the background. I hope that he continues the direction he's going, and that there's not a flame that burns out. I really hope that. Oh, I'm not gonna vote. They've got to learn. Exactly. Lord, what a name. Called me Curly when I was a kid. It's an interesting name you got there on here. Yeah, I mean, not voting is probably our best option at this point. Honestly, let the Democrats ruin it for us, for everybody. You know what? Ghislaine's on Trump since she was young. I predict he's going to pardon her. I think he already has pardoned her, has he not? I know it was big in the news a couple of while ago, but he was friends with her father, Robert, who published our history books. Yep, what I just said. Yeah, what I just said. Amen to that. J.D. Vance in the last Turning Point rally was asked about the trillions of dollars sent to Israel, and he didn't answer. Yeah, he doesn't want to answer. He's got to skirt around that question. And Israel is the forefront of politics right now. That's the number one question. That is the number one issue in politics right now. And he cannot say what we want him to say. So he's going to skirt around these questions so that we don't crucify him, but Israel doesn't execute him. That's the lane he has to stay in. He needs to keep our support, which we're not giving him, but he also needs to not get executed like Charlie did. And so it's a tough place to be in when people ask these hard questions. And he's trying to walk that line. I want to see a candidate who is open about their faith. I'm tired of these candidates hiding it, who they are. If we have Christians in office, this nation will be different. Yeah, I agree. Why are we hiding faith? Once again, back to my point. Say Christ is king. Say Christ is king, right? Say it. Let us know your faith. Let us know your stance. That's what I want to see. Don't hide your faith. JD hides his faith, if it's even an actual faith. Let's be honest. Trump hides his faith. He hides his Jewish faith. They hide it from us. I want to see somebody open. I want to see somebody who is so well versed in the Bible that they could have been a pastor, but instead are in politics and are spreading the gospel from that side also. Because you can spread it from wherever. You can spread it from anywhere you are. That's what I want to see. I want to see somebody outspoken in their faith. Christ is king. Christ is king. Christ is king. Let's go. I'm just now getting to those comments. Once the commie liberals finally attempt a full takeover, we can send it. Full send. Christ is king. Amen. Christ is king. Christ is king. That's right. We don't have no Mossad agents in this chat. Let's go. Pray for Christ. Thank you for telling me I'm doing great work. America first. What's really holding us back to get away from Israel? Blackmail? Yeah. I mean, everybody in Congress is blackmailed. The sentiment behind a lot of the things that the Austrian painter brought up when it comes to politics was if you have 600 people in Congress, it's hard to overthrow them all. That's why you need one person who makes the decisions. It's hard to overthrow them all, and they're not going to speak intelligently about every single subject. And they don't take responsibility for what they vote on. That's the issues with Congress. Right now, Congress is not taking responsibility for their actions, whether that's how they voted on certain things or that's them sleeping with children and Epstein filming it. They're hiding it. They're trying to hide what money they get from Israel. They're hiding everything behind it. And even which we do know at this point, but even when we do know, how hard would it be to overthrow 600 people? Honestly, how hard would that be? Versus how hard would it be to overthrow one corrupt leader? That was the sentiment behind a lot of what he said. When it comes to those politics, that's something I have to agree with him. One person making all the decisions has to take all the responsibility for those decisions. If you don't like it, He gets overthrown. If you do like it, let him reign for 50 years if he does a good job. What's wrong with that? I don't have a problem with that. If you have a CEO of a great business, you don't kick out your CEO every 8 years and try another one and hope they do okay. No, you let them reign. You let them run it because they do a good job. That was a sentiment behind a lot of those beliefs, and we're seeing that firsthand now. How do we get Israel out? I don't know. And that's kind of why I'm okay with voting for the left at this point, because it'll kind of happen on its own at that point where we can really have a true revolution of ideas and get to where we need to be. Am I a big duck hunter? That's my specialty. I've got loads of duck water here in Central Texas. Man, I love duck hunting. I just got into it. I just got into duck hunting 2 years ago. I really enjoyed it. I was always a deer hunter, and we lost our lease. We were leasing it from a guy, and I showed up like right before bow season started, like 2 weeks before. So I got like fill up my corn feeder, make sure my cameras were out, and my feeder was gone, and my camera was gone, and new ones were put out. And I'm like, what? So I go over to the barn. It was a chicken farm on the front half, and it was a hunting area on the back half of this like 50, 60 acres. I go into the barn to go talk to the guy, and I walk in, and this Asian guy was like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Hi, I'm just checking to see where my feeder's at and everything. Do you know where the owner is?" And he goes, "I'm the owner." And I said, "That's news to me." So we lost our lease, didn't know it, and got into duck hunting because I didn't have nowhere to deer hunt, and I love it. It's fun. So I'm happy you got lots of ducks out in Central Texas. Here in Georgia, we don't have a ton of ducks, but every now and then we get some pretty cool ones. My Christian brother, I can see you have a good and sincere heart. I appreciate that. I mean, I try to have one. I really do. International jewelry got too powerful, and now they have bought all or most of the influential politicians. Yeah, I agree. They're all bought out. Everybody that has a say so, they're bought out for the most part. And the guys that don't, the guys that aren't bought, Tucker, Candace, Nick, Myron, Gaines, they're freaking canceled. Alex Jones, they're canceled. They push them out. They say, no, 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 no. And Alex Jones might be bought out. Now, I'm not going to lie. I like Alex. His views recently, I don't know. But they cancel him. They push him out and say, oh, whoa, 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 you're satanic. You're no good. We don't like that. And they push them out of the way. But there is hope. Amen. There is hope. The light of Christ. I just found out the OnlyFans owner is one of the largest donors to Israel corrupting our youth. Yeah, I spoke on it earlier. They are the single largest donor to AIPAC, the people who own OnlyFans. Well, what are we doing? How are people so blinded to that? Why can we not speak out on that? Why does that make me an anti-Semite, huh? That's terrible on all accords. Do you think that Nick's rhetoric could come back to bite him? I think it already is to some extent. I think that I don't want to say he regrets some of the things he said in the past, but I think that it's coming back to bite him. And I think that we're seeing a little bit of a more mature Nick in a lot of ways. I don't know. It's going to be curious to see with Nick because some people hate him. Most people hate him, honestly. But most true America First people love him. I like him because we see the truth in what he says. But a lot of people cannot separate truth from emotion. And so if they don't like something because it sounded mean, yet it was still the truth, they just don't like it, and they'll push back against it. Versus some people, and honestly, maybe it's a higher IQ thing, they see the truth in it, and even if you didn't deliver it in the best way, they see the truth and they side with the truth. To me, that's the higher IQ response to it. And some of the rhetoric he's given gets pushed back from what I'm going to call the lower IQ people because they cannot separate their emotions from the truth and from the logic. They say, well, he said that in a rude way. He said that really harshly. Yeah, I don't necessarily like the way he says some of the stuff, but he speaks the truth. So it's going to be curious to see if we get a high IQ voter turnout or a low IQ voter turnout. And that's really going to be what decides Nick's future, in my opinion. Because, yeah, that's kind of my take on Nick. The Tucker and Fuentes interview is great. Yeah, if you haven't watched the Tucker interview, it's great with him. They get a lot of cool stuff in that. Lots of Christ is King. I love that. Keep it going. Keep spreading it. I feel that they use their faith as a cover-up for evil. Yeah, most of them do. Let's scroll through here. They're choosing to side with the devil and with the Antichrist. Yeah, I think that they are, truthfully. Thank you for being a part of the movement. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for pushing this movement. Let's see what else we got. No one in Congress should be getting paid. Yeah, on this government shutdown. Yeah, the government shutdown is bullcrap. They're still getting paid. Israel still gets paid. Argentina gets paid. All of our American workers, all of our veterans, they're like, hey, screw you. We hate you. That's what happens. It's stupid. I cannot stand that. I prayed for Trump to turn to Yeshua, King of Kings. Amen. I hope Trump comes back to Christianity truly. Truly. I hope that. I mean, that would be game changing. Massey is a good option. Yeah, I mean, he's probably tops right now, honestly. He's not my favorite. Period. I mean, like if you remove age as a criteria, Massey's not my favorite. I'll leave it at that. But he's not bad. He's better. I need to look into more of what Massey says about other things and not just Israel, because this is not, we cannot be single issue voters. Just because somebody's anti-Israel doesn't mean they're on our side. Ilhan Omar is anti-Israel. That doesn't mean she's on her side. Zohran Mamdani is anti-Israel. That doesn't mean he's on our side. They are communists. That's not us. So we cannot be single issue voters and say, hey, are you anti-Israel? Okay, good, you got my vote. That's not what we need right now. That's not it. Don't fall for that. Bought yourself a shotgun. Let's go. Hey, hunting's fun, dude. Find you somebody that hunts, get with them. Some people say it's super expensive. It's not that bad, honestly. You can get into it. It's fun. You have a good time with your friends. You'll find out how to provide your own food. It's pretty cool. This term makes me not want to say I'm a Republican anymore. Yeah, I don't say I'm a Republican anymore. I caught myself the other day. Somebody asked me. I had to catch myself because I'm so used to saying it. I'm not a Republican, guys. I don't associate with this crap. And most of the guys who we support, Nick, even Alex, Tucker, they're not going to say they're Republican, honestly. Jews are at the top of all of our biggest companies. Crazy to think of how small of a country they have to be so organized, control everything. Yeah, Jews run all the major companies. They run the media. Guys like Ye get absolutely canceled for saying that. They run music and have for years. They run the movies we watch. They now run the social media platforms. They run everything. What is it, 0.2% of the population, yet they somehow own everything? And their story behind that is, well, that's just because we're so good at everything. Yeah, well, if y'all are so good at everything, why do Asians not run everything? Because they're smarter than you. They're more of the population than you. They're a lot of ways just as organized as you sometimes. Maybe a little less. The Asians don't run everything. You do, because you're corrupt. You get your hands on it. You're sold out to Satan. That's what happens. Scrolling down. Christ is King. Let's go. Jesus is loved by us. He is mentioned in the Quran. Okay. I don't know enough about Massey. Perhaps I have his comments on none instead of all. Trust MTG. Yeah, I trust MTG more. She's my representative. She's still sketchy. She's still newer to the movement. Like, she still gave Nick some crap a few years ago. We talked about that in the interview with Tucker. But at the same time, it's like I don't know. I don't really have a great candidate. Can you break down MAGA versus America First? Okay, in premise, you have MAGA, you have America First. More or less, originally, this will be the same movement. Same ideas, the same premises. But what's happened is MAGA's turned into a cult that's really not Make America Great Again. They're what I'm going to call, it was Make America Great Again, now it's MAGA, and it's their own cult. America First is the people that were Make America Great Again and switched. Uh-oh. Camera died. Uh-oh, hold on. Hold on. Switching batteries. Oh, we're back. Sorry, guys. Camera died. Anyways, when it comes to MAGA, it comes to America First. You have the MAGA movement, you have the America First movement. America First is what Make America Great Again was. We put our country first. That's all we care about. It's kind of transitioned to this America only thing because MAGA is trying to take America First from us now. America only, America First, regardless. We care about our country before we care about all these other countries, before we care about everything else. We're not neocons anymore, neoconservatives. That's not what we're doing. We're not going to stamp out communism worldwide. That's not what we do. We care about this country because we have too many problems in this country to send out our money and our soldiers to other countries. That's the premise behind it. Yeah, a woman high up in the IDF is now in charge of censoring us online. That's true. That is true. That was what led to me getting banned on TikTok. Larry Ellison's regime, the IDF woman. The Jews are not so genius, so you just prayed ways to get power. Yeah, that is true. Do love going shooting. Yeah, you'll get better at it. My wife says battery's out. Yeah, I got it changed. No worries. I charge 2 this time, guys. I need a way to get this camera always going. That's what I really need. It's a way to get the camera to always go. And there's just not really a good way. Here's what it is. Why Americans are against America First and support international Jewry, I don't get it. Yeah, you say America First and that makes you a racist. The ADL's website says America First is like a white supremacist, racist, extremist group that hates Jews. And it's not true. It's like we just know the facts. We just understand the facts. So I don't really get that. It's because they hate us because we speak out against them, which is kind of what I brought up in my reel today and kind of spoke on. They hate us because we speak out against them. So if you say you're America First, that means you're an anti-Semite. Let's take our badge. Let's wear our badge with pride. Anti-Semite. At this point, racist, whatever it is, wear it with pride because they're going to keep calling you that until you just accept it. Until you say, you know what? I am an anti-Semite then. If this makes me an anti-Semite, then I'm calling you out, then call me an anti-Semite. That's me. That's what we need to do. The ADL hates it. America First, America Only. Yep. Oh. All right. If y'all got any last comments, send them in. Let me go check the other ones real quick. I've checked Instagram for a while. I haven't checked the other one. Oh, man, I'm getting crap for saying he got whacked off. My bad. Pause, I didn't mean to say it like that. Or take it out of context. Oh, let's see if we got any more. So refreshing to hear this. I appreciate you. Yeah, Frankie Valenti, I believe is how you say it. They won't whack Usha. She's JD's handler. Look, she might be JD's handler, but they got Erica too. Erica can be JD's handler too. So they whack her, get her off. God, I keep saying it. So y'all gotta keep me from saying whack, okay? They get rid of Usha and bring in Erica. If this is the case, she's still going to be his handler at the same place. So who knows? I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there. Let's go back to Instagram. Last comments before I end the stream, guys. We already went through one whole battery, so that's pretty good. As much as we want everything to get better, we all know what our Bible says. It just gets worse for us Christians here on this earth. You got to. I mean, that's true. Exposing the bring. It sucks. People like me I am honestly, I may not come across this way in some of my streams. I'm an optimist. I just hope and pray for the best in every situation. And right here recently, it's like, man, everything just gets worse. And so I still pray for everything to get better. I still pray that the end times, it's not going to get worse, even though I know the end times, it has to get worse before, all of the end of the world happens and we get to spend eternity with our Lord and Savior. It just sucks. You hate watching it. You hate seeing it in front of our eyes, right? We hate watching the world go to crap around us. It's a hard thought to wrap our heads around, right? Let's see what else we got. Yeah, American white culture is going to rise. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't buy into the Hollywood victimization. Yeah, I mean, the Jews run Hollywood. You know that. And they're trying to make it seem like it's bad to be white and it's bad to be proud to be white. I mean, I'm a proud white person. That doesn't make me a racist. I can still love a black individual or a Mexican individual. Many of my friends are black or Mexican. I can still love a Jewish individual. That doesn't mean that we hate all. But you can still be proud. Why is it okay to be a proud black man or be a proud Mexican man, but it's not okay to be a proud white man? That's a problem in this nation that we need to address, I think. Isn't it interesting that they call us anti-Semites, but most Jews in Israel are not even Semites? Yeah, true. Right? Hey, have y'all seen that meme? It says, you call me an anti-Semite, but you've never called me a liar. It's like, yeah, it's true. I feel sorry for white Britain who don't believe in God and lost their Christian values that kept their morality in check. It's true. Oh, let's scroll through the last few. Christ is King. Let's go. Anyone have a good America First podcast to listen to? This one, The Right Wing. America First with Nicholas J. Fuentes. That's a great one. There's not a ton of them, honestly. What's the last one? I will pray for you all as we will keep on going. Let's go. Thoroughly enjoy my show. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, I want to wrap it up. I spread the gospel with y'all already. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being active in the comments. I think it's a great show. We went for 2 hours. I did not realize we've been going for that long. That's what happens. When you get fired up on these shows, man, you get fired up, you just start going. It's like therapy, honestly. I kind of get fired up. I start talking. It's like a therapy. I get all my emotions out. People say it's gay to go to real therapy. Well, I got therapy right here with y'all, apparently. I scream at the microphone, at the camera, and then they lose track of time. Been out here for 2 hours. But I love all y'all. Thank y'all. Christ is King. Let's keep the movement going. Tune in Tuesday. Tuesday night, we have Reese Saviors coming on. He's awesome. His name on Instagram is Lion for Christ. He's incredible. I love Reese to death. We've had some great conversations. That dude was a former drug addict who gave his life to Christ. He's big on Christ is King. He's going to come talk to us about Israel, about his addictions, how he overcame them, about God. It's going to be awesome. But until then, hit the follow button, share this video, tell all your friends about it. Keep growing the movement. I want to keep pushing the movement. Y'all keep pushing the movement. It's going to be awesome. But y'all